Shazam, issue 9, Mark Waid writing with Emanuela Lupacchino on the art. So, is this Wade's last issue? Or
it is.
There's 10 the last issue. It's this one, okay.
They tease that the next issue is going to be Lupacchino and Josie Campbell.
Okay. So,
at the end. So, I just want to start with that, with the way that it's kind of a weird issue for him to go out on.
That's it.
Yeah,
well, I think to me that says that this wasn't meant to be his last issue, but then obviously the other stuff at DC sort of came up and they got moved. So I suspect that Campbell's probably going to at least be picking up with stuff that he's left dangling.
I think so, yeah.
For sure. And then I just hope that this means that there is an opening when he's done with whatever the project that has him busy, that he can come back to Shazam at some point. Because I was really enjoying his take on the character and the whimsical of it, and I'm sure Campbell will keep that going. But just with Waid, and even here with Creeper, who's a character I don't particularly care for, Waid has a way of taking that character and boiling it down to its essence and making it work. So, because like I would never think that a Shazam or the Captain and Creeper team up would work, but here we are.
Yeah, I think this is another solid example of Waid just having fun with different characters, and he's pulled the Creeper out. I think we have maybe a bit more context for Creeper personally, just because he was just prominently featured in Danger Street, so he's kind of fresh in our heads a little bit. Yeah, I mean, this was a simple story, effectively, of Jack Ryder bringing in Billy Batson under the guise that he's interviewing him because of his podcast, and then...
Which, Billy, you dumb boy.
I know.
You think that he's just going to pluck you for no reason?
The whole time he's like, does he know?
Yeah, like it just shows the wisdom of Solomon isn't essentially intelligence.
Yes,
right?
My favorite thing about this though was that for no reason he keeps shitting on Metamorpho to the point where we get a panel of Metamorpho eventually reacting, just looking really, really upset.
Yeah, the hell did I do? He's like, which also reminded me of Danger Street on top of that too, because of Metamorpho was also a character, you know, in that. So they're from the same era. So that's what I talk about, like Waid boiling these characters down to their essence, you know, and he makes them all work. So yeah, just his because it's not a hatred, but it's definitely him just crapping on him for no apparent reason.
It's so like it just keeps doing it. He keeps like, oh yeah, you covered the Captain, you covered this Shazam, but then he went on to that schmuck. That awful pain in the ass Metamorpho. He's not a real hero. He's a freak.
Well, yeah, why didn't you cover the Creeper?
Oh yeah, because he's a much more family friendly.
What does he call him? He calls him something face. Like it's like a
face.
Souffle face.
I only know because of the very ending.
Yeah, it comes back around for the joke ending. Yeah,
and there's that. But yeah, I still the Creeper's still a character, so I had to pull up how his powers actually work, and it is a mess. Like there's no clear, definitive. You know.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just go with it.
Yeah.
So. Basically, as soon as the cameras stop rolling, Reacher starts acting nice, and Billy's like, "Wait, like what gives?" And he's like, "Hey, it's just a show for the camera. My fans, they like conflict. They like me to be a dick, so that they can feel that they're better than me. That's what I give them." And he offers Billy a ride home, and he's like, "Hey," Billy picks up these cards that are in the car, and he's like, what's all this list of like places? And he's like, oh, it's just a little vocal exercise I do before I get, you know. And he's been also buttering Billy up, saying, hey, you've got the chops, kid. You could be a presenter someday. You're good in your podcast. You've got the charm. So he's like, hey, Billy, why don't you give it a try? Try and read all those words as fast as you can. And I actually loved this, and I also loved it in the art. Lupacchino, when he's basically telling him to do this, the shit-eating grin that Jack Ryder has on his face is so good.
You're just going to call him Reacher.
I was about to call him Reacher, yes.
Yeah. He's not nearly as big, because if he was Reacher, he'd take up the whole page.
I was combining
bigger than Shazam.
I was combining Ryder and Creeper, okay?
Yes.
So anyway.
But no, yeah, just that, and it's such a fake smile on top of it, you know?
That is a man who's up to something. He's up to something.
Yes. And then so I'm reading these, and I was like, wow, these are all place names, like what? And then when I saw Kenosha and Zambia together, and I was like, oh, I know what he's up to.
Yeah, so he transforms in the car,
Mm-hmm.
He's like, wait a minute, Billy
I
fell for
thought
that?
they changed it so that he had to like say it with intent.
I mean,
Did that like stop being a thing again?
I guess
Am I
so.
misremembering this?
I don't remember it. I mean, it sounds like something that was probably there, but how many runs ago was that?
Yeah, it's been so. I always just take the Waid run as like almost a start of something new, because the whole thing with the gods he's powered by versus the gods that Mary's powered by now, it makes them both distinct. So
Yeah.
I just treated it as a reset. So now it's just, that's why they call him the captain, because he can't say the word. So you would think that if it had to be with intent, he could call himself Shazam, because the intent's not there to transform.
Yeah.
So
it definitely was a thing at some point in the kind of recent.
Oh yeah,
past.
I'm sure it has been. Maybe it was Johnson's run that did that. I can't remember. But yeah, he reveals that he was caught on like a security camera transforming, and that's how he came looking for him.
Yep.
But he's like, hey, we've got a team up to do. He turns out a creeper, which obviously freaks him out, and takes him to a train. And this is where Shadow Thief, I think was the name of the villain.
Hawkman villain Shadow Thief.
Yeah, he's taken over a bunch of passengers, and they're not just passengers. They're like going to like a.
They're the fiduciary council for what is it?
Yeah, big wigs. I don't know. Some
They're big money people.
Yeah. So
World Fiduciary Council.
Basically, they do a whole thing here where the Shadow Thief like derails the train, and Shazam has to go out and like grab the front of it. Creeper's like grabbing the bad guy and grabbing the civilians and taking them out the train. So it's all big sequence. It's Lupacino getting to have some fun with the art and show off some chops. Basically they can't find where Shadow Thief is because he's blending into the night because it's nighttime. So
and they're in the country of Pennsylvania, and it's all forested, and
there's no lights.
A lot of darkness.
There's no lights. There's no moonlight. So Billy just gets the idea. Well, I'll just Shazam, but up, back and forwards, and just strike some lightning, and the flash of light reveals where Shadow Thief is, and they're able to grab him. And all the people who were turned into shadows all turn back to normal. It's pretty straightforward. What this issue really excels at, though, is the banter backwards and forwards between Billy and Jack, and kind of they're discussing about what this is, and was this a team up? This isn't. And Billy keeps sort of like, it's like, oh, he's actually not a bad guy. He cared about the civilians. Oh no, there he is being a dick again. So yeah, he eventually Shazams away, and we get the funny ending, which is Metamorpho is waiting in Creeper's place as a jug of water above the
and pours himself onto him.
Oh, so funny.
Yes. Well, I guess water. I mean, I don't know if the coloring's trying to hint that it's actually like liquefied souffle, but either way.
No. I think it's going off of the color of
I think it's just sunset lighting, isn't it?
Yeah, it probably is.
I also love that Billy contemplates throwing the creeper into a mine, but he's like, I'm a hero. Heroes can't do that. And then as Creeper starts, getting not out of control, but a little bit zany on the team up, he's like, that mine's calling. So I thought all that type of stuff was real funny.
He comments about how the mines near the city are like great for dumping bodies because they're so deep.
They could be bottomless, but with his hearing, he could find out if they actually are by dumping Ryder in there. And I thought that was all very fun.
Yeah, no, it's a fun time. It was a fun standalone issue that was taken away from the stuff with the family. And we already know from the solicits, I think, that Campbell is going to continue the whole stuff with the family getting a new house and all that. So we're definitely doing all that. And Campbell did such a good job with that Mary Marvel mini that it's a great replacement. It's just Wade's been killing it so much that it is a bit of a shame to lose him.
It's felt like a jarring final issue because it was just like this is basically a fill-in issue between arcs.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely the next issue, 10, is Moving Day with Campbell and Lupacino. So, but yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, clearly it's continuing the story, so I suspect when they're doing the trades and stuff, it'll probably just keep going.
Probably, yeah.
So
we don't know where Waid and Moore are yet, do we?
No, we do.
Yeah.
Do we?
Yeah, Absolute Power.
The next event.
Oh yeah, of course. I completely blanked because event bugs.
At least that's a couple of months anyway. See if they've got something after that too. Cara, what are you rating Shazam?
Don't think it's a solid 7.
Matt?
I'm going with an 8.
I might split the difference. I'll say 7.5.
I did an 8, so you could do that. So,
Sure you did, Matt.
yes, I did.